Hey there, this is Bhagwan Gray with Grayman Media, and I'm going to be doing a video regarding the recent, I would say, departures of about 6 WWE superstars. Everyone in the wrestling YouTube community have been talking about this, and I'm really just going to weigh in because, frankly, I'm sick of just leaving comments on other people's um, pages, so I'm just going to go ahead and just do my own video regarding this. As you can see, the op-ed is called Greener Pastures, the bigger picture behind the WWE departures. So this is my at least view on this. With the recent announcement of AEW breaking into the wrestling business and attempting to create a big new, at least new way of looking at wrestling, I think a lot of WWE superstars that feel like they're caught up in the mid card scene have basically decided that they're gonna at least look for greener pastures. And well, I mean, I figured most people would understand that, but the thing about it is, this isn't something that hasn't been seen in I don't know how long. You're talking about at least two major stars, two new stars, and one star from Japan really deciding that they don't need to work for the WWE anymore. And frankly, it's about time. I mean, for years, we've basically viewed the WWE as the one place where all wrestlers need to go to basically make it big. But the only thing that you've ultimately learned is it's the one place where everyone goes to make money. And that's it. I mean, if you look at all six of these men, you basically only have two stars, and of course, they're the ones up front, namely Moxley, or if you would like to call him Dean Ambrose if you want. He's clearly the biggest star in this picture. Of course, Dolph Ziggler is the second one, and of course, you got the two others, well, four others. You got Kenta. I'm not going to refer to him by his WWE name. You got the Revival to your left, well, to your right. Well, basically it's to the left anyway. But you also got Matt Bennett, now Matt Kanellis in the WWE, and you see all six of these men asking for their releases and wanting to either leave or at least leave themselves open to leave on their own, at least on their own terms. And well, at this point, how many of this has actually happened in wrestling, at least in the WWE, in the last 5 years? I mean, maybe one or two guys wanted to leave on their own terms, and the rest were either released because the WWE couldn't use them anymore, or their contracts ran out and they just decided to retire and to do something else. But never, at least in the last 5 years, have you seen at least six stars decide that they want to leave and leave so publicly that it's become big news in the wrestling industry. I mean, it's not there's nothing like it, and it's been nothing like this in a long time. And I mean, we all know, of course, the reasons why, and obviously this involves the way the fans see the WWE. It also involves the way the WWE markets itself, and it ultimately has a lot to do with the rising success of other wrestling promotions and basically the growth of, well, rabid fans, not casual fans, mind you, rabid fans, fans that actually like going to different wrestling shows, the ones they used to call the internet fan. Now they're actually growing in strength and numbers, and all the so-called big name fans that used to base their entire mentality and base their entire worth on going to WWE shows. Now they're the ones that feel left out, and you can literally hear them screeching and complaining about how it's absolutely abhorrent that the WWE is letting this happen. Of course, the WWE was doing this for years, and before the rise of other promotions and the growth of other promotions, almost every fan that is now complaining didn't care 5, 6 years ago. I mean, when someone like Bray Wyatt was coming through NXT, and he was a big name star there. Clearly, everyone who loved WWE patted themselves on the back and made themselves feel like I'm great because Bray Wyatt is great at NXT, and when he gets to the main roster, he's going to be just as big. And of course, when he got to the main roster, well, he sucked and literally couldn't do anything. He was literally an absolutely wasted gimmick. And of course, before other promotions got bigger, it didn't matter because the WWE was the biggest game in town, and everyone literally wanted to just go there, no matter how they stewed in the pot. So you had so many guys wanting to go there, knowing full and well that the WWE wasn't exactly known for making, real superstars. They didn't, try to make anyone bigger than, say, Roman Reigns or John Cena or The Rock. And as a result, a lot of the guys that worked there almost seemed to be eternal mid-carders. And we're talking eternal mid-carders on a national level, on a global level. And you might think that, a mid-card in the WWE is a superstar someplace else. Well, we're going to find that out soon because I'm looking at least the two main ones, Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose, who clearly are at least mid to major stars in the WWE, but the way they were booked almost brought them down to the mid card because of how cheesy and stupid they looked when they failed or when they tried to get over as heels. The other four, certainly the Revival began to really stink in the last month and a half, losing to, what is it, Lucha House Party or whatever it is. And of course, Kenta Kobashi, he was dealt a lot of injuries and ultimately began making a comeback, but because of the loaded roster at NXT, he all but got lost in the shuffle. And as for Matt Bennett, he had a good idea when he got there. It's just the one thing we have all but learned is that even great ideals get shot down by the poor, inept writing skills and booking styles of the WWE creative department. I mean, let's face it, when you got a bunch of third rate to fifth rate writers that are so terrible, not even the Big Bang Theory would hire them, how do you expect to have them even come up with anything as simple as booking a guy that literally runs behind his wife while his wife flirts with other guys while he's not looking, and he's completely in denial of it? And as a result, every time he gets into a match with the opponent, basically he's not even aware that the opponent and his actual wife are flirting while he's actually on the ground. Or maybe he catches his wife inadvertently flirting with someone. I mean, you could literally have made the whole Canellas gimmick similar to that of the real life story of Tammy Lynn Cinch and Chris Candido. Because if you really want to know what a cuck story is, you gotta look at that. And that could have been actually the best way to have booked them. But of course, since you got a bunch of guys that don't know how to write pro wrestling, they had no clue what to do. And as a result, you now got all 6 of these guys asking to leave, or at least not wanting to sign any contracts with the WWE and wanting to leave on their own terms. At the end, I blame this all on the unfortunate standards of a lot of pro wrestling fans who just watch WWE because, well, if you don't watch the WWE, you're not watching big time wrestling. Rather than being grown adults and actually deciding for themselves what big time wrestling is, and as a result, making big time wrestling based on their interest rather than just simply going along with the crowd. Well, at this point, I'm just going to call it a day on this. Pretty much that's all I got to say. You know the deal. Like, follow, and subscribe. Leave a comment, question, or suggestion. I'll probably have some other videos soon but I just wanted to make this quick one and just leave my opinion on what's the whole deal, the whole, departures. So that's about it. Have a good day and a good night.